We continuously learning those things like through our whole life instead of just like finishing those studies like 4 years and we just become stagnant. Then what's the point of going through the college?
University like Duke, there's a lot of pressure to like get an internship, especially sophomore or junior year.
Hello，各位小伙伴，大家好，我是郭郭，欢迎收看郭郭秀第12期，在这里和我天不一样的。本嘉宾我请到的是曾经拿到杜克大学全额奖学金，现在呢大三计算机专业在读。他呢曾经在红十字和星巴克工作，他的目标呢想要最终实现人生价值。那么他有什么样的故事呢？下面和我一起来了解一下吧。First of all, introduce yourself, like where you're from, your academic background, stuff like that.
大家好，我是傅明耀，我是杜克大学上高二，是大二大三。My name is Luke. I go to Duke University. I'm a rising junior. I'm studying computer science and statistics.
So are you right now like in a summer vacation or you are doing an internship right now?
Well, it is summer break, but I'm also doing an internship during my...
Nice, so it's computer science related stuff or...
Yeah, I was finally able to secure something computer science related.
I mean, like especially, I'm not super sure about the citizenship, but for people who has like who's on visa, like F1 and stuff, like it's really hard to compare. Like the job market is not that really good. So I would say I'm really impressed that you can find something that related to computer science.
Yeah, I think this year was kind of like a struggle, like for a lot of people. I was lucky enough to get one like 2 months before the summer started. But like I feel like at like a university like Duke, there's a lot of pressure to like get an internship, especially sophomore or junior year. Like they almost like act as like if they don't say it explicitly, but like I feel like the like mindset is that if you don't get like an internship, you're like kind of set up for failure like later on, or like not as well as your peers.
This is actually the pressure from when I was a master at Duke University. There's actually a requirement that if you cannot find the internship, you cannot graduate. So that's kind of even if you have some job offers from full-time jobs and you cannot get an internship from somewhere, then I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's like domestic or international. As long as you cannot get an internship, you cannot graduate from that program. So at the time, I feel like people are so like under the pressure, I have to find something. So that's one pressure I find from Duke universities. So speaking of Duke, how's life in Duke?
I don't know. It's kind of like a bubble. Like you kind of like at least for undergrads, like you live on campus, you see the same people like every day. Are all on one campus too. So like you kind of see like your entire class. But like besides that, you don't get really a lot of exposure to like people older than you or like people who like are outside like in the city. I'd say it's like a pretty like there's a lot of school spirit. We have like a lot of sports and stuff, but I don't know. Overall, it's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember there was a time when people just lined up and waiting for they want to get some tickets for Duke basketball versus like UNC, and this is really like hot games.
Yeah, some people are crazy. Like they'll line up for like months, like waiting to get to like get a ticket for this one basketball game. I think even graduate students have it too, like where they tent for like a weekend just to get entered into a lottery so they can like have the chance to like get a ticket.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like universities are so competitive. So do you have I was just curious, competitive advantages that those committees think that they should admit you like instead of others? Like what are the parts that stand you out?
I honestly don't know. I think that's like the right answer. I think like I'd like to say it was like my like well-roundedness. Like I did like a lot of things. They actually do send like I think they're legally required to like send you a report that shows like how you were graded for like admissions and stuff. And I think like my scores were like pretty average throughout. I think like my essay wasn't that great. It was like okay. They rate it like out of 5. I think there's like 1 for like essay, 1 for academics, 1 for extracurriculars and other things. I don't think I did anything like that amazing to get it. I think in the terms of like college applications, there's like 2 ways that like kids can get in. Either if they're really well-rounded and like will like have like a lot of different experiences, or if they're like really good at one thing and like can be very good without being like well-rounded.
So is that because you have like maybe a high SAT score, or because you have some like really abandoned those extracurriculum stuff like that?
I'd say like my SAT score was like pretty high, but like coming here, I realized it like wasn't like really high. Yeah, there's a lot of people here who are like absolutely insane. So also like I don't know how, but I also like got a scholarship to come here.
I don't think average people can get that.
I don't really think so either. I feel very lucky, but it ended up being like a full ride scholarship for people who have participated in a lot of community service. Like there's a lot of different ways for people to get into college that aren't just like testing really well or like.
Because I saw you have been volunteer in the Red Cross. Is that something related to that, or it's like different experience?
Yeah, I think like in terms of my high school, I just happened to be involved in like a lot of clubs that did volunteering or like be an executive position for like the volunteering aspect of a lot of these clubs. Like for my school student council, I did volunteering for that. And then for our school's business club, like competition club called DECA, I handled all the volunteering for that. I started a club junior year, which was the Red Cross Youth Club. And we did that. So like, I guess I like wrote about it a lot and they like kind of saw that in my college application. I don't know, it just happened to be that way.
Yeah, because I feel it's really completely different. Like when we apply college in China and apply college in the US, one thing is that in China there's some concept called Gaokao, where you have this centralized examinations where people just like have finished those maths and the Chinese and some other like chemistry, physics. Well, here I feel like they have multi-dimensions. Thing like maybe first one is your SAT scores, and second one is maybe your personal statement, your essays you just mentioned, and the other one maybe just community college contribution. Sorry, those community contributions.
I think the way that you talk about what you've done is like really important. Like being able to like stretch, almost like kind of stretch like what you've done, or like be able to like convey a story through like all that you've done. Because you can have like all the extracurriculars in the world, right?
True.
But you don't have like a reason for doing that. Like, but of course it's like a lot easier to do that if you have money. Like if you have like that's like the harsh truth. Because like I know like a lot of people here who like are like really good at like a certain sport or like a certain instrument.
True.
But like that's only because like, well, not only because like they definitely tried as well, but like they had access to like lessons from like really good people, and like they could like join these clubs and like had like excessive, like I don't know, like their schools like had all these programs. Depending on like where you're from, like you might not have access to these programs. So like I think that's also another way that like I don't know, the US school system's kind of fucked. But
yeah, exactly. Actually, I have this coworker who previously worked in Google, and he was admitted both by Emory, which is one of I would say great Harvard university, really and also he was admitted by the Harvard universities. And it turns out that
also good.
So it turns out that I think because of because he doesn't want to spend too much money on those tuitions or educations, and I think Emory offers him like a full tuitions coverage, so that he doesn't need to spend like $1 in those tuitions. So he ended up went to the Emory, which kind of surprised me because like from my perspective, as long as I can get an offer from Harvard, like whatever money like gets me, I would definitely pay for that. So that's one perspective. The other perspective that I feel for those prestigious American universities, usually it comes with higher price, and it's really different compared to in China, where the higher or the better the universities, the cheaper the college fees and stuff like that. So that's when I came here, and when I talk to some students or talk to some coworkers, they usually have something called a student loan. I'm not sure you have that, but they will generally like carry a student loan for like maybe 5 or 10 years or 20 years. When you are studying at Duke University, I also noticed that you have abundant of those experience in terms of internships and projects. So how do you like choose those things? How do you like, are you having some like blueprints or some map in terms of like how do you want to see yourself in like 3 years or 5 years, or how do you want to maybe have some solid foundations before you like go further, or how you thought about those things?
Yeah, not really. Like when I first came here, I didn't really have a plan. I picked computer science and statistics because it was like the most like employable like two things that I could like think of. And then like I think my first semester I like barely did anything, and then like my second semester like I was like, okay, wait, shit, like I have nothing on my resume. And then like I just started applying for like literally everything. I think there's like this entrepreneurship like group I was trying to get into, a bunch of clubs that I was applying for, like business clubs and like stuff. Like I got rejected from most of them, but some of them I didn't get rejected from, and like I was able to like do, I guess like through like trying out a bunch of stuff and like seeing what I like and don't like. That's just like my way of like kind of like how I like something I like doing.
Let's say I was added to this club, and what are the things I can like get? Is that say some people I get to know and which can maybe help me like in the future to get a job, or some like personal connections that can be used like in the future?
Yeah, it can be anything from like technical skills, like for like the club I'm in, like I'm in Duke Impact Investing Group, and I work with the data and stuff, and like we work on projects like that really just allow us to just basically do like whatever we want to like fit the client's needs. So we did like data analysis, we worked with APIs from like OpenAI's, like, and then we did like this like feedback thing where like we like fed like the API like content from like a website, and then like is this enough information to figure out what this company does, and then if not, just like do it again. I feel like there's a lot, well that's just my personal experience. I know there's other clubs where they have like classes that you take for like a semester and then you take a test after. Yeah, I don't think like a lot of the classes at Duke really teach you like what to do to work, which I think is kind of strange, and like the clubs kind of take that like so it just feels like another like school that people like think like I don't know, like they like join this club, but it's like basically more schooling, which is like such a weird concept to me.
So is that so this club sounds to me it's kind of like a bridge between the Duke students and say the external clients. Is that like you have some say people from outside the companies and they will talk to you, figure out like what they need and all the or say I want to have an analysis of how this company is doing and should we invest in or not? Is that the case?
A good portion of it doesn't invest. So like I don't know anything about investing. If you gave me your money, I'd probably lose it all. But like, there's different sectors. This is like another thing. Like, it's like, I feel like every club is trying to do everything to like, kind of like take in people. They have like business development sector, they have like consulting sector, they have investing, and they have like education, and then there's data, which I'm a part of.
Because I saw you have many experience in like your internship, in your project. I'm really curious why you because I saw in before I guess that's right before you go to Duke for your undergraduate that you have been a barista in Starbucks. So why you want to work in Starbucks for that part? And I'm really curious about like what's your motivations for that part?
Oh, barista at Starbucks?
Yes.
Okay. So I first started working there because my friend worked there. It was like during the pandemic, or like right after the pandemic. I didn't really have anything to do. It was fun. I just got to like work with a bunch of my friends. Like I referred my friends, and then my friends referred more friends, and then like I kept referring people. So it just ended up being like a bunch of people like at this one Starbucks that like I was friends with and that we would work with like all the time. I didn't really have like a reason for it. I just wanted money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there any like memories that you feel?
Sorry. I think like it's really good experience like to like work a customer service job, because you'll have people who are like super sweet, but you'll also have people who are like so like mean for like no reason, especially like if they're in like a drive-thru and they haven't had like their morning coffee yet. I've worked jobs in the past. Like I used to work at like a tutoring, like as a tutor for like kids, and then I used after that like as a cashier for like this restaurant. But I don't know, Starbucks is interesting. Like it, like I don't know, it's been interesting seeing like how things have like changed.
True. And also like from my impression, I feel like because for me the people I deal with usually are the engineers or at most like product managers. Usually not like directly like customer facing, or maybe product manager can face some customers, but for people who work at the customer serving industries or at least some like baristas or servers, they will have a better sense in terms of like what customers need, how they can cater to those customer needs and stuff like that. I think those are really important in order to like convert customers' raw attention to the monies and those business models, how the money flows in terms of people's attentions and those sort of things, compared to like we just like me, or let's just take myself for example, me just sitting in front of computers all day typing those codes. I mean that definitely can help in terms of my technical skills, but in terms of people skills that will not improve as much as if I just work in the customer facing industry.
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped a lot. You have to like figure out like how to prioritize things like to get what somebody wants like the fastest.
So how do you see yourself in the next 2 or 3 years? Are you looking for like after you graduate from Duke, are you looking for like maybe pursue a master's, PhDs, or you want to just like go into the industries and see whether it feels?
I think I want to try the industry for like at least a couple of years before. I don't know. I'm considering getting like an MBA or something.
Oh,
just
nice.
like I don't think I really enjoy coding that much. I don't know. I think I like talking to people, and I like doing things that are like more people facing. Like I said earlier, like I just kind of like applied like everywhere, and then wherever it took me, like I just like tried doing my best in that like role. Even for this internship cycle, like I didn't just get a job. Like I applied to like at least 100 internships before finally. And I think like a lot of people don't realize like the struggle that people go through like to get these internships. Like some people at Duke, like they have it really easy. Like they got like this like in like the first like couple months of like trying. But other people like they still haven't gotten internships like at all, or like they applied to like hundreds of internships and got rejected from a lot of them. And like that was the case for me.
Like from my perspective, after talking to you, I can definitely feel like because you have done so many like projects and internship, your technical skills definitely qualifies in order for you to find a job. And also I feel like you have another advantage is that you like people skills, like communications, and those sort of things are obviously rarely I can find from people like who came from like engineering background, because people who from any background usually they will be more technical and they will focus on like problem solving instead of like talking to people and figure out like what really stuff that they need.
I wouldn't say like I come from like an engineering background, because like I didn't really know how to code before coming into college. But I think like the point of college is to like teach you like at least to some part some of these things, and like you don't really need to like have it all figured out before college.
True. And also like from my perspective, college is more of a starting point instead of an ending point, because
Yeah,
some people
yeah.
like they will just go to the college, and after finishing 4 years of studying, they will just done. I mean, like the studying is all about like we continuously learning those things like throughout our whole life, instead of just like finishing those studies like 4 years and we just become stagnant. Then what's the point of going to the college?